Perfect. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about information security, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But those, yeah, thank you for Legion IT Academy for joining forces with us and trying to bring this topic to attention of everyone and how we can help each other to get into this profession and this career. But I will start with talking about what is cybersecurity, what kind of things we do in cybersecurity, and what you can do in cybersecurity right away after our training. So cybersecurity is all about how to mitigate the risk in a cost that makes sense to the business, right? It's not all or zero. And usually we focus on three things. It's confidentiality. So only people who are supposed to have access to particular information have access to this information. Integrity. The information we just accessed is actually information that's correct and nobody was able to change it. And availability. Whenever I want to access this information is available for me. And everything we're talking about cybersecurity is around one of these main three things that everybody in cybersecurity is talking about. There are different layers in cybersecurity protection. It's around people, information, and there are products that help us to protect this information. The data, we call it assets, right? The computers, the data, we call it assets. The threats is a type of action that has the potential to cause our harm. The threat actors, the bad people who wants to get access to our information. Vulnerability is a flaw that these threat actors use to bypass our security. Threat vector is the mean by which they use to attack. And there are a number of risk response techniques we use. We can accept the risk, we can transfer this risk, or we can mitigate this risk, okay? That's just to show that we have scooter, which is assets. The risk is that scooter will be stolen by theft, which is a theft scooter, and there is a threat actor that's used the fence in the hole, which is vulnerability, to steal our scooter, right? I was trying to bring it to the simplest way I can, the complicated things we discussed. So why do we need information security? First and foremost, and protect the organizational ability to function. If we don't have our databases, if we don't have our systems, we obviously cannot function. We want to enable the safe operation of application and in our IT. We want to protect the data that the organization collected and our users. We want to protect technology that the organization uses and prevent the same three things: the unauthorized access, disclosure, disruption, modification, or destruction of information that's company collected. Again, it's all around about identity, to identify who is the person who wants to access the system, analyze it, to do action, prevent or allow, to monitor who have access to what, and control what's actually happening. Why security becomes so important? I don't need to tell you, every day we've heard about new hacks, new stolen information, new data leaks. So different industries come out with different regulation to try to protect personal information or business information that's companies hold. If we in a banking or financial, we have SAS or SOX. If we in a payment, we have PCI DSS. If we in a healthcare, we have HIPAA. And if we're talking about general privacy, there is GDPR, the most famous privacy framework that's utilized by European Union, and everyone who uses who does any business with European Union is supposed to comply with GDPR privacy rules. Okay, so these change the economics, it changed the risk, it changed the what will happen if something happens, right? It's also what's happening after company is compromised, or the data is compromised. So let's see who are the bad guys. Sometimes it's a national state and motivated by economics, right? I don't need to tell you that the guys from North Korea for trying to hack into the United States. It was announced, I believe, a week ago or months ago. The big cybersecurity company, before actually hired 12 people that we now know actually resigned in North Korea. They were waiting for the hiring process and were hired to work for United States cybersecurity company pretending to be United States citizens, right? So that's national state cybersecurity motivated hackers. There are hacktivists. I don't need to tell you how many time Greenpeace or whatever they call just go and do some attacks on oil facilities, on tankers, on everything that they don't like. There's also cyber criminals. That's what we usually hear. People who stealing credit cards, people who stealing information, trying to run a ransomware attack on the companies, and then to try to sell as the keys to decrypt this data for biggest amount of money. There's just terrorist group. Okay, there is a constant conflict in the world. Russians trying to hack Ukrainians, Ukrainians trying to hack Russians, Israel tried to hack Iran, Iran trying to hack Russia, and Americans trying to hack everyone. So there's a lot of terroristic group and organization. For the last 3 or maybe even 4 elections in the United States, we heard every single time Democratic conference was hacked, the Republican was hacked. So there's political actors who are trying to gain access to the very sensitive information, and there are just thrill seekers. You can't imagine how many teenagers just going to the internet buying for 200, 400 bucks scripts that's running and the hacking companies. I believe today the thrill seekers is about 50, 60% of the people who actually do hacking activities on the internet. And if you're looking deeper, 80% of them actually will be just teenagers that's bored and do nothing, and that's what they try to do. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Information security officers, they are the good guys who try to protect information, who try to protect company, who trying to protect our sensitive, our personal identified information, right? They try to protect everything. They're trying to build the systems that protect this information. They're trying to train people, to create policy. In our case, I'm trying to explain you what need to be done. The bad is the guys who actually want to get access to our information, destroy information or encrypt our information and get a payment for the way to decrypt our data, or just because we don't want this data to be publicly available because it's something very sensitive for us. So cyber crimes, and again, it's old data already, but cyber crimes already going beyond $2 trillion a year. The last numbers I saw was $2.5 trillion a year. And criminals leveraging multiple tactics. From phishing, like about 70% attacks starting with just phishing email attacks, or supply chain attacks. Target CEO was trying to hide the attack and was fired after the breach. The Equifax CEO resigned 2 weeks after the massive breach that's exposed probably 70% of personal information of American citizens. So it's not just bad guys and good guys, it's also now become very sensitive information that discussed on the company boards and the government that's try to regulate this field. So again, what we're trying to do, we try to understand that security is to be free from danger is the goal, right? We want to operate freely without, as operation of the company, without thinking all the time what we do and how the information is being stolen. So many times, as long as security increase, the convenience of access to this information or using this system is decreasing. I don't know how many of you are using almost every system today asks you to have multi-factor authentication. It's not just because they want to make you uncomfortable to use the system and always have your phone with you. No, it's just because so many people trying to hack into your user on Facebook or on your email or any other places. The main issue for successful attacks is just vulnerabilities on the systems that unfortunately our developers create and were not identified quickly enough, or after they were identified, were not patched on the systems. The configuration issues. I can't tell you how many times when we do security assessment for the companies in the cloud, we're finding some open systems to the big world that can be accessed from anywhere in the world, and nobody just didn't fix it for a long time. The software that designed poorly, not just developers that didn't do the good job, that the software was designed 20, 30 years ago with many limitations. There are hardware limitations and there are enterprise-based issues. There are many times that employees that come into the companies and installing their own computers that don't have relevant protection, but it's connected to the company network, and people that's connected to this laptop can have access to the corporate network. Just few hacks that happened in Canada to make it fun. Especially 2 years ago, you can come to every restaurant. It was open, but you couldn't pay because the payment system was down because the whole system was encrypted and they couldn't use it for, I believe, 3 or 4 days. So it was cash only. Ontario town was paying ransomware. By now, I believe 3 or 4 Ontario towns or city paying every year ransomware just to unlock the computers. The last attacks were, I believe, Toronto with the library and the healthcare system, and Hamilton with the city being down for 2 weeks. The people couldn't pay taxes, but people also couldn't receive any services from the city. Trudeau, our prime minister, tried to collect banking system 500,000 Canadians, which considered privacy breach by every single Senate member, and it was a blog. Canada Post, I don't know, for guys in the United States, you probably don't know, but the biggest drug dealer in the world is actually Canada Post. You can go to the website to order the drugs and marijuana products, and they will be delivered to your home by Canada Post. So Canada Post system that was collecting information about all these people that ordered cannabis products were penetrated, and the data leaks, and we could see all the data of people who ordered the products in the last, I believe, 6 months or so. I believe the biggest hack of all time, it's a Marriott hotel system that the bad guys penetrated the registration system and actually stole personal information of every single person who ever stayed in the Marriott network, including the pictures of the passports. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is another Alex floating in the world that have a different picture but have my number of my Canadian passport. Desjardins, we always, when we're talking about security risk, we're always looking at the bad guys that coming from outside. But Desjardins, it's a good example that employee stole the database of all the clients, all the financial information, and was trying to sell it on the black market. So it's not always the guys that coming from outside. We also need to make sure that the people who are working for us are not able to copy these guys and steal all the sensitive information. And how we do that? So United States DoD designed the map on everything that's need to be done to seal the information, sensitive information. And I don't think any company in the world has everything that's here, but I do know few big corporations that have more than 90% of what you can see on this map. Majority of companies will be about 50-60% of all the systems like that we mentioned here. So just to summarize, we do need information security to reduce the risk of to the acceptable level, right? The main goal of cybersecurity is protecting confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. There are roles and responsibilities of that security professional that we'll talk in a minute. We should monitor everything that's going on in our network and our systems to make sure that we can count on time anyone who does bad things. And we'll talk about a few other things. So now I'm switching what is need in cybersecurity field in North America. So there are 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs in the world, about 500,000 from them in the United States. Okay, that's from director of CISA, which is Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency in the United States. Assumption that's about 10% of that is in Canada. So let's say about 50,000 jobs in Canada supposed to be open in cybersecurity field. There are a number of paths that you can do. It's not about just I started to do as a cybersecurity analyst and I continue to be cybersecurity analyst. There are more technical roles. There are less technical roles. There are auditors who audit what we do. There are people who write the security policies. There are people who audit the security policies. There are people who actually implement the security policy and implement new systems. There are people who just monitor what's going on, and that's mostly what do cybersecurity analysts. And there are integrators and consulting. There are many different jobs that's available in cybersecurity field, and every person can find what fits into his kind of skill set and what he prefer to do, right? But our focus today will be about entry-level jobs, which is cybersecurity technician or incident analyst or responder, which frankly, majority of people call SOC analyst. So SOC cybersecurity analyst, what they do. The main role is actually to monitor and respond to security incidents. Behind me, I'm in the office right now. Like I know you see my Cyberwall background, but actually in the office right now, behind me there is a wall. Behind the walls, there are two people who are watching right now, I believe about 20 screens, just to see what's happening to our clients. And if there is any alert or any red flag, they're going to react and to investigate and to stop the attack. So how they do that, they analyze security alerts, right? We have a bunch of systems, they analyze them, they investigate potential threat and take action what to do, how to mitigate it. And that's what we're actually going to teach you in our training. So Cyberwall and Legion IT Academy, we decided to do it together. Cyberwall running similar program for, I believe for 5 years. It was sponsored by government, but I don't know what's your experience working with government, but we applied for 100 hours program and government came back and said, yeah, it's approved, but the course will be only 40 hours. So what we did, we shrink everything they could, and they created 40 hours program. That's we run for 5 years, and right now about 300 alumni of our program. I'm in touch with many of them. Some of them stay cybersecurity analysts. Some of them become managers. Some of them become project managers in the cybersecurity field. And at this point, I was trying to make it right, and that's how we started collaborating with Legion IT Academy. And we come back to this initial idea to create proper training between 80 to 100 hours. And this is what we're going to do here. We come back when we put back all the offensive security that we had to took off. We put back the preparation for the certifications. So that's how this program will be building. So what the cybersecurity, the question we usually heard from participants is what the cybersecurity salary. So I just copy paste this from Glassdoor from 3 days ago. The cybersecurity analyst with 0 to 1 years of experience, this is the salary between $50,000 to $76,000. An average is 62. But the cybersecurity analyst salary in Toronto, it's $85,000, $86,000. It's average for people with 0 experience and 10 years experience, right? So for starters, it's just 62, but the people with the 5, 6, in average will be 85. I personally know people who are still on a cybersecurity analyst role, and the salary is about $90,000, $100,000, $110,000. They just have a lot of experience. They just like what they do. They don't want to move to other kind of a managerial role, or they don't want to go to integrations. They don't want to do to audits. They continue to be security analysts, but their salary growing. And I do have a few guys. I have my own guys who are far beyond the $80,000 salaries. I just copied from again from the website. What are the company that's trying to hire cybersecurity analysts right now? For guys who are not from Canada, this is the biggest Canadian corporation. Stratagem is one of the biggest cybersecurity companies. It was acquired by Bell just a month ago. So when you see Stratagem, it's actually Bell. BMO is the third biggest bank. Rogers is the biggest media and telco company. RBC is the biggest bank in Canada and the United States. I mean, the biggest Canadian in the United States and the biggest in Canada. Deloitte is a big player in everything, including cybersecurity, and that's what they're looking for right now. So a little bit about myself and the people who will provide this training. So I'm in cybersecurity for more than 20 years. It started when to buy Checkpoint Firewall was enough to become a cybersecurity manager. This is how I become cybersecurity manager. But I did a lot of training, a lot of certifications. I have a master's degree in technology management from New York University, and I also have CISSP, which is considered the highest cybersecurity certification. I am CEO of Cyberwall and Pioneer IP. It's two companies like Cyberwall in cybersecurity. Pioneer IP is IP protection. The program will be run by Talha Iqbal. He is the manager of Cyber Intelligence Center, okay, and SOC. He's, I believe he's more than 10 years by now. We work on this program together for the last 5, 6 years. He also frequently provide presentation and lectures at Sheridan College and Lambton College, and he's managing the team on security consulting analysts. So both of us hiring every year between 5 to 10 people, just ourselves for our 2 companies, right? The other people who will train you, all of them will have experience at least 3 to 4 years in cybersecurity. 2 of them have experience roughly like us. And every person that will provide the training, they are subject matter expert in the field they provide. So when someone will give you presentation about network and firewalls, this is what this person does for 20 years. If someone will come and give a presentation about SIEM, this person does SIEM for the last, I think, 7 or 8 years, okay? And if sometimes even I call him to ask me questions. So that's kind of the caliber of the people who will provide training to you. The lab's running through the guy that's he worked with us for 3 years. So I don't know how it was the total number of years of experience, but just with us, it's already 3 years. So if you want to have few information, a little more information about who we are, we have a Facebook, we have a LinkedIn page, we post stuff all the time. So welcome to visit us. Obviously, we have a website that you can find more details about Cyberwall and training. You can go to Legion IT Academy website and find more details, right? So there's a number of things you can find there. Now a little bit about the training program. So we start with introduction to cybersecurity. We'll talk to you about what this will include in the frameworks and everything. And already on the, I believe, class number 2, we will already set up labs. The main difference between what we do and most of the other places do, or even the colleges or other places, for every 2 lectures or every 2 presentations, you will have at least 1 lab. And then whatever we do with you in lab, you go home and you should recreate it. So you kind of, for each hour of theory, you're supposed to have at least 1 hour of lab. We are the most hands-on extensive training, at least in Canada. I don't know about all the competition in the United States, I will not say, but in Canada, we are the far most hands-on training program. We'll talk about Windows Server, window controller. We'll talk about window event logs, how we collect information. We'll talk about network principles, how we connect all the system between them and the firewall into the internet. We'll talk about security information and event management system. That's called SIEM. Every professional will tell us SIEM. They know what does it mean. There are a new buzzword that's called UBA, user behavioral analytics. So it's looking to the same data, but trying to find a little bit different aspects of the attack. We'll talk about threats, attacks, vulnerabilities. We will discuss endpoint detection and response. What is vulnerability? How to deal with vulnerability, web application scanning, understanding security tools, CIS controls, incident response, cryptography, and Kali Linux. All these will end up with preparation for the CompTIA Security Plus certification, which by the finishing our training, you're supposed to be 90-95% ready for the exam. I hope you will also prepare yourself, and that's the kind of the way to pass the CompTIA Security Plus exam. CompTIA Security Plus exam considered kind of the basic today in cybersecurity. In majority of the places, you will be asked if you have Security Plus or CISA Plus certification. That's kind of the minimum. When I see someone junior coming to me with a certified ethical hacker, I'm just start laughing, because if you never did anything in cybersecurity, how come you already hacker, right? Like, there's no hacker who becomes cybersecurity hacker or cybersecurity offensive actually analyst on day 1. Everybody start with junior position, and SOC cybersecurity analyst, that's the junior position. That's, I believe, majority of people start in cybersecurity. We try to be brand kind of neutral. We will utilize different tools that's used by majority of vendors. Obviously, there's nothing we can do without Windows. We'll do a few things with Linux. We went with pfSense. Today is the basic firewall. All other firewalls just more complicated and more sophisticated, but we want to do the basics, right? We will utilize Nessus for vulnerability scanner. That's the kind of standard in the field. Everybody use Nessus. I just paid today for our annual subscription for Nessus. Sophos, I believe 50% of small businesses protected by Sophos, and about 5 to 10% of the big corporation protected by Sophos and the endpoint. And Sumo Logic is the SIEM tool that we utilize to connect all the systems, to collect all the logs. And then Sumo Logic will trigger a few alerts, and you will see what does it mean to receive alert from your SIEM, and then what to do, how you investigate, and what you do next. This is how the lab look like. We literally create, you will run at least 3 or 4 virtual machines on your laptop. So I really hope you have a good laptops to run this. Anything that's 2 years and younger can hold it. The minimum for the memory should be 16 gig. Otherwise, you will not be able to perform any of the tasks in the lab. And I know we started to receive questions about, okay, I want to start in cybersecurity, but I have no background, no skills in IT. So we now finalizing the last step to start also IT fundamentals program, which we'll start with later. So the people who will go to IT fundamentals program will be able to join the next cohort of the cybersecurity program, which I hope will be, I don't know, Jana, help me out here. I believe in February. No, it's even longer. It's March or April, right? So I'm just counting the months that we need to run the program. It's about 4 months. So we want to start a program soon in October. So 4 months, it will be February, March. So that's the program. The program is 26, I believe, meetings, each one about 2.5 hours, which is 3 academic hours. We will meet twice a week in the evening, so to allow you to work in the day job, whatever you do. But in the evening, starting, let's say 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will run a class. It can be theory, so we'll just see presentation, or it can be lab. So someone will lead you through the steps you need to do, answer any question you have, help you to troubleshoot stuff. For this cybersecurity program, we expect you to know basic things in IT. So you're supposed to understand what is Windows, how to install Windows, how to install virtual machine, what is Active Directory, and basic of networking, like what is high model and how things connect to each other. And the rest will teach you. Literally, step by step, we will teach you. The whole training is to prepare you to be hired for the junior entry-level position. Okay, so me, Talha, other people, we built this program. So this program was built about 4 or 5 years ago. 5 people who managing SOC come together to create the program. At the end of the program, you will have final project that we're supposed to do all the labs, and you will have the exam. The questions in the exam that we do, half of them is from CompTIA Security Plus exam, and half is what we ask in the interview when people come to us for interviews. Okay, the whole purpose of this program is to prepare you to this technical job interview. When you come into the guy like me, okay, we want you to know what to answer. That's the whole. Nobody here who finishing our program will be super duper firewall manager, believe me. But you will understand the basics. So when the hiring manager asking you, guys, do you know what a firewall? Yes, not just I know what a firewall. I install firewall. I know how to configure rule in a firewall. Oh, do you know what is endpoint protection? Yes, I know what is endpoint protection. I use this in this brand. I know. So the whole purpose of that training is to prepare you to answer any question that hiring manager can have. I'm not going to tell you 100%, but at least 95% of the questions you should be able to answer. Again, I expect you to try hard to do all the labs we give you to do, to listen to what we do. And person who have more than 80% on our final exam, you can see that as a sign that you're passing the job interview. That's probably the equal thing. Okay. But like I said, we prepare you for CompTIA Security Plus, which kind of basic in the junior position in cybersecurity. The people who go straight to CEH, cybersecurity, certified ethical hackers, or people who go straight to some fancy. I know training programs that can take you straight to CISSP, which is considered the highest certification. The problem is you're supposed to be 5 years in cybersecurity to be eligible for CISSP. So people go into the training programs, they're studying, they're paying the money. At the end, they cannot receive the certification because they even not working in cybersecurity yet. So we started from the basics. This is what we do. And from here, you can choose what you want to do. We give you the basic on almost every domain in cybersecurity. If you want to go to policies and procedures, we will tell you what is GDPR, we'll tell you what is SOC 2, we'll tell you what is ISO 2700 and what is NIST. Then you can go in and do with that information what you want to do. You can start running policy. You can run a corporate program for cybersecurity. I know at least 3 people who finish our training working now as project managers for cybersecurity projects in the big corporations that they have it, but they decided they don't want to be a SOC analyst anymore, right? But they had this knowledge. They spend the 6 months or a year, and they become project managers. Okay. All our trainings are in English. We have, I believe, majority of our instructors not speaking any other language. I mean, everybody has another language. All our instructors are immigrants. I make a point to hire immigrants to train people, to give opportunity. I was given 20 years ago, right? So, but the training is in English. On the IT fundamentals, we'll start with basic Windows Server, Active Directory, network, kind of, so you understand these things. I'm not going to make you a sysadmin, will not make you network administrator. The whole thing is to prepare you to move to the next step, which is cybersecurity SOC analyst. Every single of my employees in SOC utilizing AI to investigate the incidents. The AI help us to make our work much more efficient. Okay. I don't see AI replacing cybersecurity analysts in the next 10 years. That's for sure. You will receive a certificate at the end of the program that you successfully finished our programs as SOC cybersecurity analyst, and also you will receive enough knowledge to go and pass the CompTIA Security Plus, which we will encourage you to go and do. Okay, that's worldwide recognized certification. It will eliminate many questions about what you know and what you don't know. That will be used in the training will be shared with you after every class. You will receive the slides and the recording on the session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed my sexy voice.